Professional.
It says I'm live. So, all right. Welcome live from the crossroads of America to a 1-hour talk show, Shooting with Disabilities. We cover guns, politics, or anything else that crosses our mind. We'll answer questions from the audience, either in the chat or by email to Rickslifeasiseeit at gmail.com or spottedrick@gmail.com. We are broadcasting on gun channels and YouTube. This audio file will be up within 24 hours of this show ending, like all the other ones are up there. And I think that's it. Let me see who I got in the room so far. We got Yoda, Texas, Travis T, 2 Live Moo, Sabrina, Kingpin's in there doing double duty. So far. And in the on the panel tonight, we have Squib Load. How you doing, Squib?
Doing good. Thanks for the invite.
Okay, then we got Blind Shooter.
Hey, Rick, thanks for having me.
No problem. Then Kingpin.
Glad to see you feeling better, Rick.
Yeah. Then we got the one and only Patriot in the Dark.
Hello, everybody. And good morning to Sabrina, because I know it's like 1 or midnight, wherever she's at. And hello to everybody.
Yeah, John Brown Productions has joined us now. Jason Stewart. Yes, I do apologize, everybody, for not being here on Saturday. I mean, I don't know if, as I said in my thing, I don't know if it was something I ate or something. It was more like something I cooked that I ate. Because I was feeling rough all day. It wasn't too late in the evening I started feeling better. You know? I just had that feeling all day long. So I do apologize. So I'm back tonight.
It's probably the mail.
You know? So. Oh, Sabrina says it's 1 a.m.
1 a.m. Well, I hope you're doing well. And thank you for reaching out. That was very nice.
Yeah. Oh, for all the past prize winners this month, I'm going to mail them all out on Friday when my monthly check arrives. So they'll be coming then. I just wanted you to know. That includes you, Sabrina. I've got your little packages of patches and stuff sending to you. Care of Patriot. You know? All right. Tonight, I don't have any topics whatsoever. I was saying maybe you guys out there in the chat can help me out on this one. You know, I'm having trouble finding things to talk about. Shooting with disabilities. I've requested a couple of people. Can't remember his name. One guy, can't remember his name now, but he's he's got a YouTube channel, but I've never gotten any reply back from any of them. You know, stuff. So I'm running out of ideas. I'm running out of topics to talk about. So if you guys got any questions you want or anything, just email me them and we can talk about them. Otherwise, I don't know what I'm going to do. So it's, you know, I don't know. But, I mean, has my panel got anything to talk about?
You could do what you used to do on Saturdays, which is just copy whatever we talked about on Caliber Corner.
Yeah, I could.
So we had Caliber Corner twice this week, so, you know, we could talk about the Taurus G3, or we could talk about the cartridge, the 450 Bushmaster cartridge, or we can dredge up some stuff.
I know what we could talk about. That, as I was saying before we went live, or did I say went live? I mean, politics per se to do with the Second Amendment. Per se, I mean, it affects us. You know, people who have disabilities, who have firearms, affects us just the same as it does other people. But I have a question I want to throw out to the panel here. Since I didn't, do you think that rally was a success that we had on Saturday? Kingpin, you were there.
Yeah, I think it was. Now, there's different levels of what a success is and what some people might think are and whatnot. I'm sure Squib might have a little bit of a different take because he's got
Yep.
far more experience at rallies than I do. But for the distance that the people traveled to get there, that was a success. For what you would call the heavy hitters, the big names, all in one place and short notice, was a success. All of their speeches were pretty successful. I think I could pick some of these speeches apart, but for the most part, they were all really good speeches. And Gun Channels itself had an excellent showing. I don't know if we made the biggest G patch photo ever, but we got a pretty good one. And
Yeah, I saw it.
a lot of people hopefully that a lot of Maj and Hickok will work on something together. Carrie Sloan and Tony Simon will work on something together. Rob Pincus and Military Arms Channel will work on something together. So, I think it was a success. Could it have been better? Yeah, sure, but I was pleased with it.
That's good. What do you think? I saw your video, Squib. Any more for the people that haven't seen it? You want to just give a rundown of what you thought about it?
So I'm someone in the community that believes in trying to be truthful and honest as often as possible. I know the other side lies and they sensationalize stuff, and I don't like it when we do that in our community. I know that sometimes there's a time to fight fire with fire, and sometimes there's time to take the high ground, but I tend to take the high ground more often than not. So some of the estimates for the rally, I believe, were inflated, and I don't agree with that. And I think we can use that to help the next time. See, my understanding is I didn't actually, excuse me, I didn't actually read any of this myself, but I heard a bunch of scuttlebutt going around that there were people saying why we shouldn't go, why bother, I'm not going, it's going to be dangerous because you can't bring your gun, and if I can't bring my gun, I'm not going, and Antifa's going to be there, and Moms Demand Action is going to be there, and it's not going to make a difference, and all this other stuff. And there were other people coming on to the shows saying stuff to the effect of, we've read these comments, and they're really in poor taste, and don't listen to them, and don't let that discourage you. And then there were people at the last minute going, well, now the Washington Nationals are going to have a parade there, so it's going to be jam-packed, there's not going to be any parking, it's going to be... None of that was true. There was no opposition, there was no protesters, there was no Moms Demand Action, there was no Antifa, the police were around. I mean, they had the helicopter circling us, but they were also circling the parade. I mean, there was no threat of anything. I was walking around town at 9:30 at night by myself, and I wasn't the least bit afraid. And I had the same bum come up to me 3 times to ask me for $2, and then I had another bum come up to me and ask me for $1. I wasn't the least bit scared. The traffic wasn't that bad. The Beltway traffic is the worst traffic in this country, and we got in and got out easy. I was like, wow, what happened, today? And it's been 29 years since I've been to DC, but everybody I've talked to, especially truck drivers, I used to work in shipping and receiving, would talk with truck drivers a lot. Everybody agreed that you can say whatever you want about New York, Atlanta, you can say whatever you want about LA. Washington, D.C. area is the worst. And I didn't think it was that bad at all. And for somebody who's not from a big city or somebody who's not from an area like that, it might be a little bit intimidating because the streets are narrow and you don't have a lot of notice on your turns, and it's a lot. It's apartments, not houses, and there's more people riding bikes and scooters and stuff like that and taking public transportation. Like where I live, there is no public transportation here. Everybody has a car or 2 or 3. So to live somewhere where you wouldn't own a car is foreign to us, right? Things like that. Everything's expensive there, but it wasn't killer expensive. I didn't spend very much to go from Detroit to Washington, D.C. and back. So I kind of had the attitude, if I can do it, anybody else could do it. and you know, there are different resources you can use. Like we carpooled, right? We all, you know, we 6 of us went on an Airbnb. I mean, there are things that you can do to get with other people to make these trips more affordable. And get this, you're not going to believe this part, fun. We actually went and seen some of the sites and got, you know, I got to sit down with New York Outcast and his girlfriend and talk about just talk. I mean, we just and you know, we talk online all the time, but face to face, we don't get to do that very often. And you know, just getting to hang out and just there's other things other than just representing the community and being out there to be seen and counted and stuff like that. I mean, sometimes you go to the state capitol, you do the rally, you get in your car and you go home. You don't have time for anything else. Other times, maybe you get to hang out afterward or go have dinner or do, you know, catch up with old friends, or you might network out. You get to meet somebody. Before the rally and after the rally, all these celebrities that were up on stage were stopping to take pictures with people, signing autographs. They were getting bombarded by different people, but they were stopping and making time for as many people as they could to talk. You know, so these are all things you can get out of this, other than just showing that you're defending the Second Amendment by being counted. I mean, there are people out there that don't want their picture taken. Oh my goodness, they're going to know who I am and I've got guns. Dude, they know who you are and that you have guns. So don't be worried about that sort of stuff. But the next time we have a rally in Washington, D.C., let's try to get the same speakers back out and more. Let's try to get more people to come out. Let's let the people who went there, some of those people, that could have been their very first rally, you don't know. But let's get the people who went there to say, no, there is nothing to worry about. I understand, you know, I talked to Rob about why they didn't give us more time to plan, and he explained it, and I understand why, but I do think that they should have given more time to plan, and I think they should have got the information out there more. So let's take a look at that and let's say, all right, let's get as many YouTube channels involved as possible. Let's get them to reach out to all their audiences. You know, let's give you know, a couple more weeks or something like that, or maybe even put out an announcement 6 months in advance to go, we're looking at this month, we just don't know what date, so, you know, kind of keep that open or whatever. Another thing I would suggest is, for those of you who say, I just don't have the money, it didn't cost a lot, man. Take an envelope now and mark rally on it, and then every payday, take some cash and put it in there. You could put $1 bills in there, it doesn't matter. 1s, 5s, maybe on a payday where you got a little extra money because you've got a 5th week in the month, or you work some overtime, you put a 20 in there. Before you know it, you've got a couple $100s, and you've got it in all denominations, so you can make change for parking or for tips or whatever you want. And when the rally comes up, you don't have to go, how am I going to scrounge together this money in 5 or 6 weeks? You'll have the money. You know, there's no excuse for some people. Now, don't get me wrong. There are people that live in west of me, you know, on the other side of the country that, no, with that sort of amount of time, you're not going to get a discount on a plane ticket. It's going to cost way too much. I totally understand. There were people that were sick. There were people who had family emergency. There were people that couldn't get out of work. There are people whose car is a piece of crap. I recommend you get that piece of crap fixed just because, but so those were legitimate reasons. There were people that, had they known about it in advance, they might have changed their plans and changed what they were doing with their money, and they might have had the time and money available to go, but instead they were already committed to something else, another obligation. Those are all legitimate reasons. Everything else was a cop-out and an excuse.
Yeah.
So next time they have a rally, I'm hoping that they don't do, and you know, another thing I heard too, and this is actually true, it's too close to hunting season. Well, people are already bow hunting, but for rifle, it's kind of close to that time. So people have already got money allocated into you know, what it's going to cost them to hunt, or they were hunting that day. And you know, that's my complaint about Wanamaker. They have it right before rifle season, and when spring break happens, it's like, dude, who come up with this? Who's the clown who thought people are gonna, you know, you could get more people if you put it in a time that's more conducive to, you know, people with kids and stuff like that. So I hope that next summer they do this. I hope they do it in the summer. And I realize somebody could go, well, Congress won't be in session in the summer. It doesn't matter. They weren't in session on Saturday. The whole point is, now people's kids are out of school. Now the weather's good. Now people can get time off work. Maybe you've got to, you know, give up that trip you were going to take in the summer. You know, you were going to take a long weekend in the summer and take a trip somewhere. Now instead you save that time and that money to go to the rally. But let's take what happened. Let's take what didn't happen. Let's take what we learned from this, and let's get the same people together and more, and let's have more people attend, and let's make this a bigger event. Let's make this so big. And there was still plenty of room there. Somebody said there wasn't enough room to have more people. There was tons of room there. There was tons of parking left. There was more people could have been there. So let's do this better next time. Let's take this and build on it. If we do better next time, then I'm going to call this a success. But I'm withholding my judgment until the next Washington, D.C. rally, organized grassroots by these people, not the NRA or the FPC or any of that crap.
Okay. So, see, I mean, I agree with you to a certain degree. The excuse that I didn't like was, well, they were at 50,000, the Nationals rally, and that jammed everything up and closed the streets down and everything else. Well, those 50,000 people that went to the National Parade, they made it with all the shutdowns and everything else.
The thing about the Nats crowd that was problematic is, like 2 years ago when the Capitals won the Stanley Cup, there was 5 times as many people there, and it was super rowdy. So they expected that. And the Nationals rally wasn't even, like I said, not even half as big as the Capitals rally.
Yeah. But, yeah, I thought it was pretty good. The only speaker that I kind of I haven't made my mind up yet is the guy from the Brady campaign. Did you hear him?
Yeah, and yeah, he didn't say what he needed to say to get people on board with him. He should have said, I've had time to think it over, and I've changed my mind. He should have said, I was wrong. The things I did in the past, I believed back then, but I've changed my mind. No, he didn't say any of that. He didn't say any of that. He tiptoed around it like a politician.
Oh, yeah, he did. And then saying that we should try to do something else to get the narrative back. Who in the hell are you to tell us how to do it? You're the one that fucking destroyed it.
We were talking about it afterward, and we think that was an experiment. They wanted to put somebody from the other side in and just see how we reacted. So hopefully that's another thing that they learn from. Don't do that again. Don't do that again. Because unless they're going to say, I used to be anti-gun, but now I'm not, and this is why, I don't want to hear from them, period. And I know a lot of other people were turned off too. But, I mean, maybe they were just dipping their toe in the water to see what would happen. And as far as that Washington Nationals crowd, we went downtown to go eat dinner. And we zigzagged right through that parade crowd, and we didn't have the slightest problem. So it's just a bunch of people, doom and gloom. And as much of a pessimist as I am, Patriot will tell you, I'm Mr. Negativity. I'm sorry, but I'm not with you on the whole excuse thing.
Yeah.
Well, I'm agreeing on your parade a little bit. Sorry, Patriot, but when I left at about 6, and traffic was horrendous. So I don't know what time you left and didn't see any traffic at all. And then as far as zigzagging through, that was 2 hours after the baseball rally was over.
Right, but it was right after our rally was over.
No, it wasn't.
When we parted ways, we headed right into it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
one thing I would say.
Go on, Patriot.
I obviously I wasn't there, but one thing I'd like to look at is how it goes forward with the people that had never met each other. As far as the speakers or whatever. What kind of work they can do together. Maybe they never talk to each other. Now the staying with just YouTube, like you were saying, promoting it, for the next rally or something. I mean, obviously, just like GRPC, there's more people than just YouTube, because there's still a lot of old people out there that couldn't care less about videos. They read, old periodicals or whatever. But just as far as how, some of them, if they're going to take that opportunity, since they were hanging out together and standing by each other or whatever, if they're going to, do something, in the future. Because, I mean, just like Squib said, which I guess I will agree with them, when you're at a rally, you meet with people, and it's more than just standing there listening to a couple of people speak and then you go home. It's all those conversations that you have, the ones that you have on the way there, with whoever you're driving with or whatever. So there's a lot more to it than just that photo op that the NPR is going to take and post up and say, oh, see, that was just little. There's a lot more to it. But I'm just interested in seeing, in the months to come, if any of the speakers actually, start something, besides just going back into, whatever their normal thing is.
Yeah, see if anything comes of it.
Because that would be
I
interesting.
mean, whether they're going to do another one next year or not, I don't know. Let's hope it's a yearly thing. But as I said, if it's been a grassroots starting thing, somebody has to take. I'm not saying one of the bigger organizations, but there's got to be some sort of committee set up. I mean, really, they say it was grassroots, but Pincus and Jeff Knox were the ones that actually put this together originally, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
So it needs a couple of people, 2 or 3 people to actually get it started.
Well, and that's also, like Patriot was saying, it's the after show that matters.
Yes.
Like anybody, if you go to any of these other kind of, motivational speakers or whatever, and they're telling you how to make $1 million or how not to be depressed anymore, or how to start an internet company, nobody jumps up out of their seat and goes and does that. Maybe one person out of a crowd of 5,000 people gets that jazzed up that they just jump right in at full steam that day. But people go home and they talk about stuff and they kick it around. They criticize it and they talk about what they did like and they didn't like, and then they start getting motivated to actually do something. And regardless of whether or not it's a motivational speaker or a Second Amendment rally, 5,000 people or 5 people, a very small portion of that people are actually going to go out and get motivated and do something. The thing is, you be part of that small portion. Because budget's been saying it all the time. The time to let somebody else do it is far, far gone. That was 10 years ago, 20 years ago, and we can't sit back and wait for somebody else to do it. So if there's only 5 people standing over there, go be that 6th person.
You're right.
And for all the people that were critical of it, I think you have a right to be critical of it, even if you weren't there. I really do. But let's take that and let's build on it. And not because I'm one of these feel-good people. You guys make me sick. It's a matter of criticism has its place. It's there, and sometimes there's some justification for it, and it's an opportunity for improvement. And when you're not improving, you're stagnant. When you're stagnant, sometimes it's okay, but other times you're just going to fall to the wayside and get passed up. So use that. Turn it around and use it. Don't sit on it and dwell on it and go, they picked on me, or they said this about the rally, or no, okay, you're part of the problem. Take that criticism and go, okay, all right, let's take a look at this, and let's really use it constructively.
I like Thomas Edison's quote, and I'm not butcher it, but everybody's pretty familiar with it. He said he didn't fail 10,000 times making the light bulb. He just figured out 10,000 ways not to build the light bulb. And just like Squib was saying, we need to take and critically, openly criticize what we think was good and what we think was bad, and help with that. You can't just sit back and criticize it. If you've got a criticism of it, share that with somebody that might be
I mean, say you should have done it. Come up with a solution to make it.
Go. Yeah, it's always easy to sit here and smash somebody else's idea and not have any of your own. If you're going to smash somebody's idea, have an idea to cover for that. If you don't like me, I don't think that the microphones were loud enough. My idea: get more microphones and speakers. Now I understand that costs money and it takes time and connections, but we've got roughly a year to do it, so work on getting a better sound system. But just sitting back and Monday morning quarterbacking and you suck and it was stupid and it was a waste of time. You're stupid, you suck, and you're a waste of time.
See, that kind of falls back with that thing I always say about, being negative is obviously easier, because that's what anti-gunners do. They don't have to think about anything. They just be negative, and, that takes up their time and they're done. It shows that they're emotional about it, or they're driven. And, to make something that's positive out of it, it might take a little work.
Yeah, you're right. Anyway, real quick, slight change of topic. we had a couple of questions in the chat way back. Kevin in New York wanted to know: is there a website that keeps track of elected officials and their stance in voting on 2A topics? I believe there is.
Yeah, I think there is the NRA.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Squib might know because I mean he's a member, so he would probably know. But I'm pretty sure the NRA has a website on pretty much all your representatives.
Yeah,
They did. I don't know if they still do, but they did. Prior to the internet, they posted it in the back of the American Rifleman magazine.
Yeah, and I think the GOA's got some of that stuff, but I don't know if that's actually just the things that are going on right now, or who you're going to vote for next time, or if they have obviously they have that information from before, so I'm sure that they should have it out there.
And I believe the actual U.S. government website has, like, if something's come up and it's been voted on, if you go there, I think it does have a tag
yay or nay
that shows the yays and nays on who's done what.
I think even MCGRO, you know what I'm talking about. I think they even have one.
Yeah.
I'm not
The
sure,
Michigan Coalition for Responsible Gun Owners.
I always do the GRO instead of RGO, but
Then the next thing wasn't a question so much; it was a statement, which I was going to bring up. Is Virginia's turned blue?
Does that really surprise anybody?
Well, they've managed to keep that Democrat governor blocked from all these great gun control. Now there's nothing to stop them.
Well, he said today that now that he's in office and Democrats control the state, he's going to push it through.
Oh yeah, I mean, not only that, they have the House and the Senate and the governor of Virginia now. So gun control's coming to that state. Mind you, they do have a pretty tough gun organization there. Whether they'll be able to do anything, I don't know.
They can have all the gun organizations they want. It goes back to what I've always said. What happens in New York doesn't stay in New York. New York is Democratic controlled all across the board. Look where we are in gun rights and gun control. What happened? It went over to Virginia. Congratulations, Virginia. You joined New York. And with the exception of a few select people in the state of Virginia, I don't feel the least bit fucking sorry for them. Sorry for cursing.
Yeah, not only that, I mean, look at Kentucky. They elected a Democratic governor now.
It wasn't Kentucky the number one gun-free state?
Well, yeah, but for how long?
Kentucky's guilty of having a terrible candidate because that's the only race that they lost.
Oh, yeah,
it was
Matt Bevin
13 out of 14.
Candidate.
Oh yeah, I mean the incumbent was Bevin, and he was a damn crook. Which I mean, I think even Republicans voted for the Democrat because they needed to get his ass out of there.
Yeah, but I mean, he may have been a crook, but look at New Jersey. They voted Menendez, and Menendez is a pedophile.
Well, that's what I've been thinking about recently. And the voting your conscience needs to get flushed down the toilet. We've voted our conscience far too long, and look at where it's gotten us. We need to start voting strategically because the Democrats have no conscience, and they don't care about any of that stuff. They got the black-faced, Klan-wearing, rapist government down in Virginia, and they love it because they vote strategically. The reason Virginia went the way it went is because people voted with their conscience and stayed home. The turnout in Virginia was pitiful.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. It's I don't know. It's oh damn! I lost my train of thought. What I was going to say right there. Damn it! I'm getting old, getting senile. Midnight Range is here, starting trouble. He said, blind shooter said fucking, and I don't approve of that fucking swearing. So
Okay, well then, Midnight, you can put all your complaints in a nicely worded email and send it to upyours@gmail.com.
no, send it to shootingleft-to-center@gmail.com.
Oh, is that where we send it? Okay.
Yeah. Shooting left to center. So,
Tomorrow's Thursday, right? Yeah.
yeah.
And Midnight, be looking for another closer video.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whoosh.
What is the thing on showing toilets? What's the thing here? How did that all start?
Have you never watched The Closer? Bah, whoosh.
I've been on it once. I've been on it once.
Then you know.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay, Rick, do you know how awkward it is to be standing in there waiting for everybody to clear out so you can shoot footage? Or if you flush one time and it's kind of, all right, maybe I need to do a take 2 on that.
That last video is my favorite. When you did like 4 takes on the flush, you were like, finally.
Oh, yeah, that was at a casino. And, yeah, I think one of my comments was, I think I'm responsible for Lake Mead being so low.
Oh, well. Moving on. Got anything else, guys?
So the question for Saturday, that carries over?
Yes. Oh, my quiz?
Yeah, you should probably repeat that.
This Saturday. Don't forget, you're getting a sort of basically a double package of stuff because you donated yours, right, Patriot? If I remember correctly, your win. You gave it back to me.
Yep, and Sabrina.
Oh yeah, and stuff. And I threw a bit extra in there for Sabrina.
So your Saturday shows are double or nothing?
No. No, since I didn't have a show this past Saturday because I was sick. The question is still the same question, which I was just going to read. Actually, if anybody didn't get it, this is the Maryland quiz. The question's running until this Saturday because I wasn't here this past Saturday, and you get a double swag pack basically. It's got the wire brushes in it and stickers and patches and all that kind of good stuff. And it was, where was the start of it? Here it was. It was about the 1896 Charsky Fitzsimmons boxing championship match. The question was, who was the referee and what was the outcome of it? Email me at rickslifeasiseeit@gmail.com or spottedrick@gmail.com. Get that into me by noon time Saturday. That's Eastern, the only time zone that matters. So that's it. So that's on that. And I didn't come up with a cut of the week, so I'll have to come up with one for this Saturday. So I would have had to do it on the fly this past Saturday if I was here because I didn't.
Can I make a request on that?
Yeah.
Can you define what a ranch steak is? Not now, but on Saturday.
No, let me write that down. See, there's certain steaks, right, or certain names that are regional.
There's a mom and pop grocery store near me, and they've got a pretty good meat department. It's better than the big box stores. And they're always selling ranch steaks. And I buy them, and they taste fine. They cook up pretty good. But it's the only place I've ever heard of a ranch steak.
I've got an idea what it is, but I'll do some research and see what other people around the country call it. So, Midnight Rain said, cut of the week, tomahawk steak. Yeah. See, now, in the part of the country that I was working at, right, we didn't do that. I know what it is because I'm a man of the world. You know what I'm saying? But
how about pork steaks?
What about a pork steak?
I don't know.
You know?
I'd like one.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, see, this is another thing I got to come up with now. See, damn. Saturday is well, winter's here, so I don't mind. It's damn cold here at the moment. You know, so I'm kind of upset. You know. Oh, another thing, God, utility company here, because last year when I called up to have my electric put, because I've been here just over a year now. So when I called up from Rhode Island to have the electric put into my name, right? Because I was out of state, they wanted a $200 deposit. No problem. I gave it to them, right? And they said you'll get it back in 12 months. I said, okay. My bill just arrived. They've done it as a credit. You know, kind of pissed me off, actually. I wanted my actual cash back. You know? So, I don't know. But I guess you could say since I'm not paying the bill, I got the cash. You know? I guess that's one way of looking at it, I suppose. Oh, Two Live Moose says, when you have to pour a whole bottle of ranch dressing on a steak to make it edible. That's what a ranch steak is.
That sounds good.
Yeah, yeah.
Ranch dressing on a steak. Mmm.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Hey, steak. I mean, that's what they made steak sauce for. You know? I don't agree with pouring that on there, but that's it. But anyway, I'll talk about it all on Saturday. So, what else is? Then of course, I'm not even gonna go into this fiasco of impeachment. You know, that's just a total waste of time. But when I was listening to Alan Gottlieb the other night, he made a good observation. He said, there is an underlying thing for this, why they're doing it. Because what it's going to do is the House will lie and cheat and steal, and they will impeach him. Right? Then it goes over to the Senate, and they're the ones that actually say yay or nay. Right? And but then the Senate has to look into it. And what it's doing, it is stopping the Senate from putting in more constitutional judges through the Senate. Because they can't confirm any, they're messing around with this impeachment bullshit. Think about it.
Impeachment's just a campaign slogan. They know they can't impeach Donald Trump. He's not going to get removed from office. The Republican Party would cease to exist if they removed Donald Trump from office. But every one of those candidates can, when they put out their ads, they can say, we have a president under impeachment, blah, 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 blah. And it's a 2020 campaign ad.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, I understand where you're coming from. But also, I said, why it's tying up once it gets out of the House and goes over to the Senate. Yeah, the Senate is not going to impeach him, but it ties them up. And they can't confirm judges. You know, they're so far behind on judges that Donald Trump has put forward for federal judges around the country. You know, because the Democrats keep messing him around. He's in the 3 years, he's only done 150 judges so far. You know, that's not a lot compared to most presidents who they get it all done within the first year normally. You know,
the big reason that they keep repeating this stuff over and over and over and over is just because there is a swath of Americans that don't pay attention to nothing, but if they hear it 5, 6, 10 times from 3 different places, they believe it.
Oh,
and
yeah.
they're just going to vote that way. So it doesn't matter what it could be. I mean, it could be something just outlandish and stupid. You know, they hear it a couple times. They don't question anything because
Yeah.
we all know people like that. And, you know, every time they hear something, all it does is reaffirm, you know, something. So that, hey, I heard it on the news this morning. The lady at the grocery store said it. And that one guy that's nice to me at the gas station, he said it too. So it's got to be true.
Yeah. And actually, talking about that, on Second Amendment stuff, is that guy, can't remember his name, the one who spoke at the rally from the Brady Bunch, right? He, a few years ago, he actually said, if you tell a lie enough times, people will start to believe it's true.
That's exactly the problem. Because another reason that nothing else is getting done in the Senate is because half the senators that are Republican are anti-Trump anyway.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
A whole lot more, except most of them are sitting there with egg on their face and mad that he's the president and he's doing what he wants and not what they want.
That's what it all comes down to, even with the Democrats and the Republicans. He's doing what he said he was going to do. He's not playing their silly political bullshit. You know? He's cut through all the red tape, you know, with them patting each other on the back, making deals and underhand deals. You do this, I'll give you this. This quid pro quo they say he's done. That's what they do all year long in government, you know, and nothing gets done. And, you know, so.
Did you get your email there, Rick?
Did I get my email?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, I did.
Oh, well, good.
Yes. Oh,
you can read that.
Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, yeah. You did put. I'm saying you did put the. I was going to say I don't remember it what you said, but you put the answer in there. Okay.
Yeah.
Here you go. This is for a little quick quiz. The winner will get something from Patriot in the Dark. The question is, in my last video released today, what was the coupon code to use at Core Essentials? There you go. Come on, people. Let's see how many of you watched Patriot's video today. Yeah.
And actually, it wasn't in the video.
No,
it was description. It was in the comment.
Yes, because I saw it because I scrolled down to write my comment, so I saw it. Yes,
and it was on the main page of Gun Channels.
I didn't see that. So there you go.
And I'm waiting for my ink to come in because my printer is out and I don't write addresses. I let the robots write it.
Okay. No, Giza Gary, it's not Fat Billy.
Oh.
No, it's not Patriot in the Dark. Close, but you know, that Joe detective said Patriot. No, PIDT, he said. You're close.
It's 42.
No, Yoder come back with Patriot 15. No. You're just going to have to go look at his video. The description.
So, anyway, that's a good distraction.
Yes. Let's see if anybody comes up with it. I'll keep my eye out. You know?
So, Rick, are you still looking for topics?
Yes.
I don't know if it's a disability or not because we're all guys. We wouldn't know. What about that pregnant woman that shot the guy with the AR-15? Could we use that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was a good story. I mean, that was down in Florida, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
And, yes, two guys busted into a house, pistol whipped the husband, took a shot at her. She ran and got the AR-15 and shot the hell out of them, and one of them died in a ditch 200 yards from the house.
We do have a winner in the chat.
Oh, we do
Georgia
now.
Is it Kingpin?
No,
It is I can't. I keep wanting to say. I can't pronounce his name for some reason. Kevin in New York.
yes. Kevin in New
All right.
York, Dark Side 10.
I don't know why I had such a
Sounds
hard time
good.
saying Kevin.
So email Patriot your address, and he'll send you
Yeah, it said
something, some swag, I guess.
at patriotinthedark@gmail.com. Or you can just send it to Squib.
You know.
He likes emails too, I hear.
What am I gonna do with
I
it?
don't know. Send him some brass. Oh, wait, he's in New York.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
might.
no, I'll just send him. I'll just reply with a bunch of negativity and just criticize it.
Yeah, I'll just sign you up for a whole bunch of positive emails.
You know, you can
Feeling a little
technically send
sick
this
to my
brass, right?
stomach.
Yeah. So, did you guys hear that story about that woman in the AR-15? And they
You
say,
said the guy
Yes.
died in a ditch. I think that's a fitting in for him.
"Oh yeah, I have no sympathy for him whatsoever." As they put it, I mean, as Mark Walters puts it on the radio there, if somebody is trying to take, how is it? I think it said I think it's in the Declaration of Independence. Take your happiness, and your pursuit of happiness, your freedom, and everything else. You forfeit yours. If you're trying to take mine, and you forfeit yours if I shoot you. You know. The way
Another quick update on the giveaway. Mr. Kevin says, I forfeit my winnings to Vanessa Kitty. So congratulations, Vanessa
Well,
Kitty.
Vanessa.
Very kind of you, Mr. Kevin.
Oh yeah,
Hey.
there you go. So
All right,
Vanessa's got to send in her address, unless you already got it.
No, I don't.
You know. So. All right. Yeah. So yeah, I said I have no sympathy for the other person because they're trying to take my life. I mean, there was that news. What was it? A couple of weeks ago when the convenience store worker shot the guy who had a gun in his face, and the sister outside saying they shouldn't have shot him. He only had a gun on him. You know.
The thing with that lady, I believe the way I heard it, she was in the back, back of the house or whatever, and two people broke in and started beating the husband or boyfriend, and their kid, their 11-year-old or 10-year-old, was in there and witnessing that.
No, the kid wasn't witnessing it. They snatched the kid up while they were beating the crap out of the dad. They had hands on the child.
Oh, okay. Because
Yeah,
like I said,
they fired a shot her way.
Yeah, when she peeked out or whatever, and they shot, then
yeah.
So yeah,
having
the kid involved is scary.
I mean, I know it's scary, and we're laughing about it now, but a big old pregnant 8-month pregnant lady coming out there with an AR-15, that would have scared the shit out of me. So. But that's
just being the pregnant lady or the AR-15.
Both, but really, all she needed to do was go out the other door and fire 2 rounds from the shotgun in the air, and they would have run off.
Well, depending on where the husband was standing in the house, they could have called the police.
Those answers are very Biden of both of you.
You know, the thing that is going to get skipped over in this whole conversation by everybody is going to be the kid. That kid's going to live with that for the rest of their life, that these 2 dirtbags came in their house, even though they've got the flip side to where they can say, my mom is a hero and she came out. Right now, as a kid, they don't understand how serious it is to be pregnant. But when they grow up and they know, oh my gosh, a 8 months old pregnant mother of mine saved our lives, that's going to be the cool thing. But the uncool thing is sitting there watching your dad get his face kicked in at gunpoint and then somebody taking a shot at your mother.
Yeah.
But see, there's a negative again that could be something else. That kid could grow up to be a police officer, could grow up to get into the military, could grow up to be a firearms instructor, could grow up to maybe be an advocate for the Second Amendment with a real personal touch. So instead of one of these people that comes up and goes, my so-and-so died because, a bad guy used this tool and I'm going to blame the tool, he could be the one to go, my dad and my mom and myself are here because my mom used the tool lawfully. It could be traumatizing, or the family can be there for the kid in such a way that the kid will turn this into a strength.
Did you hear that? Is my headphones are messing up.
There was
you hear Squib? He gave a positive.
No, not at all. I took that negative and I used it constructively. People don't consider that positive.
I do. I'm just doing it just to rub it at you.
The beeping in the back. The beeping in the background lets you know that wasn't Squib. That was Forklift Guy.
Oh. No, I think that is a great point of view.
Yes, it is.
In this life, people have choices. You can choose to be a victim and wallow in your own pity, or you can get up off your butt and do something. Okay? It's up to the parents if the mom had what it took to grab that rifle and defend her family, that she's got what it takes to raise that kid to understand that this is a tool that can save a life or take a life. It's how you decide to use it. So It sounds to me like that kid has got some good parents and he's on the right, or she is on the right track.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, that was just really basically a mama bear taking care of her cubs. It's what she did. So hey, good. I mean, I understand what you're saying there, but I think I think it's still going to affect him a little. I really do. But
that's what the first part that I brought up about the trauma. That's going to be with the kid while he's still a kid. When the kid grows up to 18 and stuff like that and starts understanding what the world is about and can sit down with mom and dad and talk without talking to mommy and daddy, then the like stuff Patriot and Squib were talking about can really kick in to where, hey, we're alive because we live in a free country and we can defend ourselves.
Yeah. And that kind of conversation needs to, even though, if it is a younger kid, that kind of conversation does have to happen throughout, because that is a choice. And if that lady did, know to jump over there, grab the AR and take care of, the issue, obviously they aren't a family that, has it disassembled in a safe with their ammo locked up on the other side of the house, et cetera, et cetera.
Well, yeah, you're right. I'm going to change the subject slightly. We ain't got a lot of time left. But was it Detroit or Chicago where I read in the news somewhere that the criminals are more scared of the American citizen with a gun than they are at a police?
It's got to be Detroit, because the response time in Detroit is crap.
Yeah.
And didn't the sheriff call for everybody to go and get concealed carry permits?
That was Milwaukee, wasn't it?
No, I think that was Detroit.
That's Detroit right now.
Yeah. Detroit. He stepped up and said, "Hey, we are having these issues. I don't know if it's money or the time. You have to be, in charge of your own safety." I know that came out. Was it end of last year or something, or the beginning of this year? I guess this is almost the end. So
yeah.
But yeah, that was there in Detroit, because I remember that, because I was like, oh wow, they're actually doing something.
Yeah. Well, the Chicago policeman's going to resign now or retire. The head cop, because when he was caught sleeping in his car a couple of weeks ago. Kevin in New York said, Squibload, I shot a Smith & Wesson Model 29 a few weeks ago, and your thumbnail photo makes me miss it.
Yeah, I want one. I've seen a few. The price is a little bit little bit more than what I'm willing to pay right now, but I've talked to some people that have gotten better deals. So if that deal comes my way, I'll snatch it up. I mean, as long as they take credit cards, right?
Yeah. Now you're talking about an original 29 or one of the newer. Haven't they made a newer model of it?
I want a 29-2, but I mean, if it doesn't really matter, then I would just get a modern 29 Classic. It's I guess you could say a modern reproduction made by Smith and Wesson, but it's made with more modern manufacturing techniques or whatnot. So I may just go that route if I finally just get fed up and say, well, I can't find the one I want, so I get this one. It's close enough.
Yeah. Oh, what's called it though? Talking about that, was it the 29? I'm trying to think what gun. I think it was a 29. I mean, I happened to. What made me click on it because it was Smith and Wesson 29 was actually a Hickok video because he done it, and what he said was he picked it up at a gun show. Somebody had it on the table, and it's hardly been shot. How come stuff like that don't happen to me? Well, it would help. Well, I went to gun shows though, wouldn't it? All jokes aside, I've never been to a gun show. So
Why not?
Why not? I don't know. I just haven't. They have them all the time here in Indiana, so I need to start going. But normally when they have them is when I don't have any money. They don't seem to fall the right time for me.
I don't need money to go to a gun show.
Well, because I would want to buy something.
Well, see, that's when you tell the person that you want to buy something from that you have your own YouTube channel and that they should let you give a review on it. So then you don't got to pay for it.
Yeah, or make a complaint about something and get a company to send you a new one.
Okay, we're going to go back to the envelope thing. Get an envelope, write gun show on it. Every payday, put some money in there. When it's full of money, then go to the gun show.
Yeah, you're right. That's what I should do. It's like that's what you should do for the saving account too for a rainy day.
It's funny. I do one negative thing like Squib, and then I get a free belt out of it. So
I know. You got
But
I did pay $180 worth of belts already.
Did you just get one or two belts?
I got two. Yeah,
man.
But I had two belts that I could send back on warranty because they have that warranty, and I chose not to because I already got two belts.
Governor's shill.
Yeah. Well, it was a shill after I bought three of them. So and I don't know who did it. Somebody actually, because it wasn't. I don't know how they found out about it. I mean, of course, they searched out the video or whatever, but the email that they kept emailing back and forth was from somebody, and it wasn't them. And so there's somebody out there that suggested they take a look at that video. So thank you, whoever that was.
Oh, Jason Stewart said Hickok made me mad. He brought that 29 in basically my town. Stingy old man. I wanted it more than him. Hey.
I thought he bought the 29 in in Columbus when he was down there. Yeah. So that was, what was that, 2 years ago, I think?
I don't know. I said I don't watch a lot of his stuff, but that normally with old revolvers like that, sometimes I'll watch it, because I like looking at those old ones. Hey, Mr. Knives is in the house. I'm coming in a bit late, but it's good to see you. So, anybody else got anything they want to say? Is he doing his show anymore? 2 cents worth?
Probably not for a while.
Okay. All right. Is he still at school or got some stuff going on?
I don't know if he's done with school or not, but it's close. And then, he's got other things that are just, life stuff going on.
Oh,
So.
yeah, hey, absolutely. I understand that. Okay. I was just trying to let people know if there was something on after this. But I know at 9 o'clock you got that leftist never enough ammo. And after him, you've got uh, rants and raves with roll call, and I don't know if Night Strike's still on that, but both of them normally do it. And I don't know what's on after that. Then the Daily Gun Show if he does one. Oh, talking about it, let's have a quick 2 minutes. I know I've overrun, but that's all right. Patriot, you met the infamous G-Webs.
Yes, I did. And Mello.
And
So,
Mello.
Yes.
Okay.
And Mello is a lot smaller than I thought. I imagined, a big wolf-sized dog, and she wasn't.
Oh, okay. I expected
Or he wasn't. I don't know if
I don't know.
Mello
I
was a
was
boy or a
expecting
girl.
like a German Shepherd size.
No, just and quiet. Just looked at me, I guess, and tried to pet it a couple times, and
It wouldn't let you.
he wouldn't move. So I'm used to kind of pretend like you're petting, and then they'll walk over to you. But I had to search her out. So
Yeah.
yeah, very nice puppy.
Okay.
I went to
And he had. I unfortunately, I've never met him, but I heard he's quite tall. G-Webs.
he looked exactly the way I pictured him the first time I heard him. So.
Oh yeah.
Yep, exactly. But yeah, we went to two gun shops and the military supply store here, and yeah, it was pretty good.
All right, that's cool. That's cool. So, all right. Mr. Knife said thumb up the chat. Yeah, if you give me a thumbs up. Hey, somebody gave me a thumbs down the other week. But that's okay. It all counts. YouTube counts it as activity. That's all that counts. Anyway, let's go through the room here and do the shout outs and plugs, and we'll wind this one up. So we'll start with Squib. Got anything, Squib?
Nothing comes to mind.
Well, I appreciate you being here as always. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for the invite.
Yeah, Blind Shooter.
Yeah, I don't got anything to shout out, Rick, but thanks for having me. I always appreciate it.
I appreciate you being here, and you didn't get kicked out once today.
I know, right? This is what happens when you get your permit back.
Yes. Yeah. And the Kingpin. Any shout outs or plugs?
Oh, no, man. Good night. Thanks for having me.
I appreciate you being here, as always. So, and the one and only Patriot in the Dark.
I just thank everybody on the panel and Rick for having me. Congratulations to Blind Shooter for completing his first New York marathon.
Thank you, Mr. Patriot.
Congratulations.
Oh yeah,
that is pretty. That's pretty stout. That's kind of a big feat. What is it? 26.5 miles?
26.2.
Yeah, give or take.
Well, I'm doing the one for you guys next year, so
I will be there in spirit.
No, next year I'm doing the Marine Corps marathon. You got to run with me. Since
maybe
you ain't Squib.
You have to run. Yeah, you might have to run a little slower than 6 hours. So I don't know. I might be out of shape by then, but yeah. So just check it out. I've kind of went on a little hiatus, and I'm getting back to the groove, and hopefully my next video will contain all 3 belts instead of just 2. But yeah, I have a couple little things coming, but nothing big. Just stay positive. Make sure you reach out and talk to those people that you haven't talked to in a while. And thank you, Sabrina, for staying up so late. So
yes, thank you. And I want to say thank you everybody for being here. It was sort of like a This was one that was a Hail Mary show because I didn't have any topics. If you guys got anything you want to talk about out there in the audience, email me with your questions so I can ask them to the panel. I would really appreciate it. It'd be nice if you can keep them on the disability angle, but I'll take anything at the moment. So I just wanted to mention that. I want to thank you all for being here, and I will be here Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time for my show, and I will see you all then. So I appreciate it. Have a good one, everybody.
Never for the dark.
Trump 2020.
Perky